Hi, my name is Zeus. This is my project Trimaran. Basically, I built it in 2007. It was came off the bottom, so it's a big recycling project. We're powered by a bunch of solar, some wind generators, and why don't you come on in and have a look? This is the library. I have a wood stove as a heating source. And this is the master bedroom. There's a flow through propane fireplace also. Heading forward is the bathroom with the composting toilet, which was self-built. It's a 45-gallon rotating drum inside a box, basically. On-demand hot water that also works with the solar hot water system. And we have a midnight controller for the photovoltaics, as well as water management. On the other side, we have a laundry and a second bathroom. We have the great room, which can host 12 people pretty easily. It's fun to cook and have dinner parties with other boaters that come by from around the Pacific Northwest. We have regular dinner parties, which are kind of fun. We also have a diesel heater and a propane heater to supplement the wood. Yeah, so I have a projector for movie nights and basically all the instruments for jam sessions. And we have some stairs that just fold down out of the way. Basically, we can then go upstairs. I lived aboard because there was no affordable housing here on Galliano. I thought the best way would be to create my own affordable housing. Um, the water is public space and could should have been a great space for me to live. Not too cold, not too hot, lots of light, easy to easy to put solar power and wind power in this area. It's safe and protected and close to work. Some of the benefits for living aboard are like the community. There's so many people that live on the water that um, are willing to help, and uh, the friendship and camaraderie are fantastic out here. These are part of my solar arrays. They're controllable with just a simple remote control. Over here we have the evacuated tubes for solar hot water heating. Basically, they're an evacuated tube that with a super thermal conductor inside that runs up to a manifold, and then your cold water passes through the manifold, heats up, and there you go, you have hot water. uh, Also have some wind generator mounts here. The wind generators are being serviced at this point in time. The water pump is controlled by just a simple 75-watt panel, and it allows the water to go through this top loop and down into a heat exchanger down below, and into a second loop that then goes and heats the hot water tank. The reason why I have two separate systems is to protect the outside system from freezing. I run polyglycol instead of water. So this is a Hans Christian. I actually rescued it. It went ashore, put a great big hole, like you could walk through the hole on this thing, and we raised it up one day using airbags, yoga mats, and structural plywood. Um, we used a jackhammer to remove the rock by dropping the rock through down into the beach. It was a pretty impressive little feat. To then we had to hang a sailboat off the mast to keep the boat heeled over because it was above the high tide line, and we dragged the boat out while heeled over so she wouldn't touch the bottom again. It was a pretty interesting rescue. Out here also is they can look in on other things happening in the harbor. Like there's a lot of people that leave their stuff tied up out here and don't come out for the winter. They just leave it, and things happen. Storms happen, chafing happens, and yeah, every year there's another boat or two up on the rocks. Some of the challenges for living aboard are the winter adds its own unique set of challenges with keeping warm, and in the summer, water issues are a good challenge. Getting back and forth, finding places to land your dinghy is another issue. Also, challenges with local government and neighbors not liking to see people living on the fringes. All right, the catchment system is basically the water hits the deck, it goes down into the four corners and it's caught in, goes in through a filter system and into the water tanks down below, and then it's pumped back up into the house faucets. Hot water pipes that come from the evacuated tubes come down into a heat exchanger that runs in the wall here, and basically a little thermostat that turns on and off the interior pump. So when the pump gets up to 50 degrees or a preset 55 degrees, then the pump turns on and heats the hot water tank. Well, this is or was an evacuated tube, a vacuum tube with a photo paint on it that basically brings in all the photons you can get from the sun, and then superheats the superconductor, which has some super fluid inside, and runs up into the this runs up into the manifold to heat your water. How much did it cost me to get into this lifestyle? Well, I pulled my boat off the bottom of the harbor and built it from scratch. And I think I did it paycheck to paycheck, and it probably cost me 100 grand plus countless hours. Every year for at least 10 years, we've had what we call the Pirates Regatta. It's a bunch of rogue boats from around the Gulf Islands in Victoria and Vancouver, and they come to try and win back the Oscar or one of these other two trophies. Basically, the name of the game is acting like foolish pirates and drinking rum and having a good time. This is one of my favorite teapots I picked up while working in China. It's basically used just for oolong for our tea ceremonies. So I wanted to find a guitar for my wife back when I was in Shanghai in 2012 or something like that. So I'm walking down the road and I look in a guitar shop and I'm like, oh, there's a perfect guitar. And it was this composite body guitar. I walked in and the woman was like, oh, forget that guitar, go upstairs. There's a whole guitar shop going out of business. Like, all right. So I walked upstairs and there's this guitar right at the top of the stairs. And I'm like, whoa, this thing's crazy. But then I noticed a a nice acoustic bass a little further on and look at a few things. And the owner of the shop's like, so do you like that guitar that you first looked at in Chinese? I'm like, yeah. That's pretty cool. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't accept anything less than 10,000 for it. Like, oh yeah, I bet it's a pretty cool guitar. And he's like, yeah, do you like it? I'm like, yeah, it's really cool. And then the lady downstairs, she yells up, he's giving you the guitar. Like, oh, what? And then he's like, yeah, you should take this guitar. I was like, well, I can't afford it. Uh, I'd love to give you money for it, but he's like, you can have it. There's no cool people left in Shanghai. I think you should have it. I'm like, oh, awesome. Thank you, dude. And I walked out of there with this guitar, and then I bought the guitar downstairs as well. It was, I think I came out for $100. Bought a pretty nice composite bodied guitar, some strings, and this thing. So ginger beer has a notorious problem of exploding. So I decided when I brewed my batch was to sink it onto the bottom of the harbor to maintain a nice even temperature and to, you know, contain the carnage if they do explode. No sticky mess. So basically, we brewed about 20 liters and then sunk them on the bottom, but we did still lose about 10 liters to explosion and corrosion. So the corrosion happened to the bottle lid retainer, and it was pretty unfortunate. This is where I keep the work away. Just kidding. This is a battery compartment and where I store my water and filter my water. Uh, yeah, not much. Lots of extra space down in the halls. There's pile worms down here. There's feather duster worms. There's scallops, barnacles, nudibranchs. What else? The occasional kelp crab, starfish, all sorts of stuff. This wood stove is pretty awesome, but it weighs more than 500 pounds, so it was heavy to get out here. One set of batteries I carried out once, they were 400 pounds a piece. They were tough to get out here. But this wood stove puts out a lot of BTUs, so it's really nice. This is the sonar from Institute of Ocean Sciences, an early sonar. It's all made out of copper and bronze. Who would I recommend this lifestyle to? Anyone that's super dynamic and willing to take on challenges, who's self-taught and can can think out of can think out problems really well. You have to be physically fit to deal with the challenges in the winter, rowing and snow and ice, and people that are yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. It's not for everyone. What initially got me interested in this lifestyle was a change. When I was younger, I had a tough time growing up, and I needed something completely different. And a friend of mine, actually my ex stepfather, had lived aboard and sailed the South Pacific, and he suggested I move aboard and live on my own on the boat. So I bought my first boat when I was 16, and it kind of got me out of a hole and taught me that there was a lot more to life than just being in my head. There's nature all around us, and living in it really showed me that. If someone was thinking about this lifestyle, I would recommend make sure you have enough money to do it all, and time to spend on your boat. Money not only to buy the boat, but for maintenance every year, and time for the maintenance every year. A lot of people don't expect it, but you're gonna spend 2 weeks and a couple of grand a year on your boat. What do I wish I knew before getting into this lifestyle? Well, I wish I knew some more of the local restrictions, because the local government is now not allowed liveaboards in our area. So they want to fine you up to, every day several $100s that you live aboard. It's just unfair. One of my passions has been diving and snorkeling, and cataloging biodiversity. And this platform, living out here or staying out here in the past, has really given me the ease to just jump in the water and go and do it. It's been wonderful. I really do enjoy cataloging the biodiversity in the area, on our project, Galliano Biodiversity Project, and through iNaturalist to catalog basically all the flora and fauna above and below the sea in the Salish Sea. And what we're doing is we're trying to, as citizen scientists, keep this catalog up to date, for other scientists at UVic and UBC and other universities around the world, to give them access, easy access, to cheap data, so we can tell what's happening in our ecosystems, and then we can, hopefully government can then dictate fisheries better and forestry and all our natural resources. Maybe we can cut it back a little and just let things go wild. My personal philosophy of life is basically, you gotta love what you're doing, live life for what you love, and don't get stuck doing what you don't want to do. You could follow me on Instagram at Captain Galliano, or Facebook at Captain Galliano.
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please share it with a friend. Also, if you want to watch more alternative dwellings, we got a playlist popping up right here, and we release new episodes every single Sunday, so consider subscribing.